What's stopping you? Are you having trouble getting things done? Is there something in particular? Do you want to do it, but you just can't seem to start? Or maybe you don't want to do it, but you don't know why. And it's still on your to-do list. Do you know what's stopping you? Let's see if we can figure it out together. Hi, I'm Lydia, and this is Solo Retirement with Lydia. I'm retiring in a couple of years, and I'm doing what I can to get ready for that. And this channel is about getting ready for retirement. I'm also going to do slow travel when I retire, so this is about me preparing for that. Right now, I'm struggling with feeling overwhelmed, like there's too much to do. And I'm wondering if you might be feeling that too. I have a lot on my plate. Tomorrow, the students are back in the classroom. So I've had a couple of weeks of prep for that. But that's always like and they're full of energy and anxiety too. So I wanted to talk about how I deal with that when I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm also feeling that when it comes to making these videos, because that's something new for me. And I am struggling with many aspects of my emotions and my patterns, my behaviors as I try to make these videos. So I wanted to talk about that with you today too. So the first thing I want to talk about that might be stopping you from getting the thing done is perfectionism. Perfectionism is something that can rob you of joy, as well as getting the thing done, accomplishing something. Sometimes perfectionism is very subtle, and sometimes it's very obvious. So like, the lighting is not just right, so I can't do my video. That's kind of subtle. Or, you didn't check your makeup before you started doing the video. That's another subtle one. But sometimes it's blatant, like you do it and you're just like, oh, no, it's not good enough. And I got to do the thing again, and I got to make it better. And you can keep working on something for such a long time. I'm finding out, after 8 years of teaching, that work can take up whatever time you'll give it. But you won't have a balanced life. You won't be with your family and friends. You'll be busy trying to make everything just as good as it possibly can be, when good enough is good enough. Perfectionism is a fear of judgment. It's a fear of reproach. And it's normal. It's not that perfectionism is, we don't want to get too obsessed with it, but trying to do our best and having a negativity bias. People have a negativity bias. We are looking for the thing that could be a threat. We are looking for the thing that's wrong so we can make it right. And that's normal. But sometimes we just go too far with it. It's like, so what if the lighting isn't perfect? So what if the sound has a little something funky going on? It's still good. Hopefully it still has value. That's my hope with every one of these videos, is that it still has value. So when I sit there and nitpick it or try to cover every jump cut, that's not what's giving it value. So once in a while, something I'll do to work on my perfectionism, regularly actually, I do something imperfect and I make myself put it out there. and live with it because it is good enough. It does still have value. And the same is true for you. See if you can put something out, do a presentation that isn't perfect, and you know it. So procrastination is another thing that will stop you from getting something done. But the question is, why are you procrastinating? See if you can find out what feelings you come up in you when you think about doing the thing. Because chances are you're avoiding it to avoid some sort of negative feeling or something that you're afraid might happen. So focus on that feeling and what happens if you do feel that feeling and how you can get through to the other side of it and get the thing done. Sometimes I have to also neutralize the thing. Like, for instance, if I'm doing another chore around my house and I'm like resentful because I feel like not everybody is doing their part and I'm doing more about taking care of the house than anyone, I have to stop myself. For one thing, we're socialized to do that, right? As women, we're socialized to have a full-time job and do most of the housework and chores and carry the mental load. So I have to remind myself of that there are forces at work beyond my control. And also the resentment that's building up in me, I need to express what I need. Like, I need help. I need you to do more. I'm starting to get resentful. And hopefully that'll help me not procrastinate on things and not get resentful of other people. It could also be something like if you're packing up, like you need to get your child packed up to go to camp and you're not doing it, or go to college or move. Ooh, that brings up a lot in me. That's an impactful thing when your child is independent or becoming independent. I could avoid that just so I don't have to think about what if they don't need me. I know that's my job, to make myself unnecessary as a parent, but it's a transition and I need to acknowledge that I'm going through that transition. So see what it is that comes up for you and why you're postponing that thing. So like how I felt just now about the packing a child up for a transition towards independence, acknowledge that feeling, feel that feeling. It'll feel scary, like sometimes like, oh, I don't know if I can stand it. It's too strong, but you will survive it. And you just digest it and get to the other side. Be compassionate with yourself. It's part of growth. Another thing that can prevent you or slow you down from doing things that you need to do or from feeling comfortable is martyrdom. So martyrdom is sacrificing yourself for others. And again, sometimes we're conditioned to do that. We're socialized to do that, to put others' needs ahead of ours. And there are times when others' needs should go ahead of ours or do go ahead of ours. But as we get closer to retirement, our needs can go first. It's okay. When you martyr yourself, when you say, oh, I can't do it because so-and-so needs me, You are giving away your agency there. The agency you have over your own life and your own goals, you're giving away that power. You're saying, I don't have control over my life because I'm giving it to this other person or people. And there comes a point where you need to take that back, because your happiness will increase dramatically when you feel that you have agency over yourself. Again, be compassionate with yourself. A lot of times we do the martyring thing. One, we've been coached to do it or taught to do it or following by example. But also it is a hope that others will admire us, which is a hit to our ego, that they'll appreciate us because we gave up what we needed for what they needed. And by a hit to our ego, I mean it makes our ego feel good, like, oh, we're good people. But there comes a point where you've got to take control of you. That's really all you have control of. A third reason we don't get things done is we're feeling anxious. Now, all 4 of these things I'm going to talk about in this video are all 4 things that I personally have dealt with too and deal with. It's not like they disappear. Anxiety and worry are future focused usually. There are things happening in the future, or what if this happens, or, I don't have all the specifics. I don't know the future outcome, so I'll worry about it, or I'll be anxious about it. You can get yourself out of that. Another thing, again, it's a hit to our ego in a way, like a pump of our ego. If we think, oh, it makes me a more conscientious person if I worry about this or I worry about that. And often they're things that we can't control, another person or a situation, but we think, I need to worry about it because I'm a good person, and good people worry about other people. They care about other people. It's good to care, but worry, anxiety, that's future focused. Be in the here and now. That's my big tip on that one. Do a reality check. Is that bad thing happening right now? Is that catastrophe happening right now? Or am I just catastrophizing? Am I just imagining what if this and what if that? Because it'll steal your joy. Foreboding joy, where you're enjoying something, but you stop yourself because you don't want to feel too much joy. It might be bad. It's superstitious. Focus on the here and now. What is happening right here and now? Name 5 things that you can see through your senses. And that'll help you feel in the moment and be more mindful. And also meditation helps a lot. And if you can, make the thing that you're anxious about fun, or at least recognize when you're having fun. So that's happened to me sometimes with these videos. I start to get anxious and worried, and what if it's just not going to go well? What if, whatever, there's so many things what if people are judging me? What if this channel never helps anyone? But if I make it fun, then I want to do it. And there are things about this that I enjoy very much. I enjoy making videos. I enjoy the editing, although I'd be happy to give that over to somebody eventually. Right now, I'm enjoying it. It's fun to learn that. I thought of something overnight and I wanted to add it to the video, which is another thing that could stop me from doing the thing, whatever I'm trying to do, is comparing myself. I'll think, oh, I just can't do it as well as that person, or it's already been done, so why should I do it? But Teddy Roosevelt, is given credit for saying that comparison is the thief of joy. And I agree. But we do it. It's natural, we do it. Psychology Today said last year that over 10% of our thoughts every day are comparing ourselves to others. And of course, with social media, it's just getting worse. And if you're a teenage girl or a preteen, it's really bad, where we just compare ourselves to others and wish that we were different or better, or we'll even do the things and then we compare it to others. So comparison isn't good for getting it done. So something to keep in mind with that is that you are unique. However you do it will be different because it's you. So do the thing. Put it out there. People will appreciate your effort. It shouldn't look just like someone else's thing. You're taking your own path. So the tips I have for helping you to rewire your brain, and I've had success with this. I am not perfect, and I do have to redo it over and over, and right now is one of those times where I have to remind myself to do these things. So one, when you're going to sleep or you're waking up, that's when the negativity bias will start, or finish at the end of the day. It'll start that to-do list as soon as you're waking up. Oh, it's Monday, I gotta da-da-da, and the kids are coming and I gotta da-da-da, and I don't forget to get this, and da-da-da. So stop that, and you may have to literally tell your brain, stop, and then just be there in your bed for a couple of minutes and name 5 things that you're grateful for. You can name them in your head, but if you want to do a little extra, you can write them down. It'll stick better. Anytime you write something, it sticks better in your brain. So name 5 things that you're grateful for, that you're experiencing right then and there. You can name bigger things in your life, like your daughter or your son or your house, but you can also go to really small things like the feeling of the sheets, being relaxed in your body, the feeling of the fan blowing on your leg, the sound of the birds outside. There's just all sorts of things. My cat sleeps with me, and I can think of multiple things about him that I'm so grateful for. His companionship, his warmth, his fur, his little toe beans is what my kids call them. I love the way they feel when he pushes them into my skin, his purr, the way he curls up. So start with that. Another thing you can do is take 3 slow, deep breaths. I usually inhale through my nose. I'll even top it off with the physiological sigh, it's called, where you inhale and then a little more. And slowly out through the mouth. Do that 2 to 3 times. That's all you need to do. And it calms down your autonomic nervous system. breath is such an interesting thing because you can control it, but you don't have to control it. It's both voluntary and involuntary. So do that, 3 deep breaths. I also, in conjunction with that, I will set an alarm for 5 times throughout the day where I can take 2 to 3 deep breaths like that. And you gotta let yourself calm down. I mean, you can't be still doing something and be like, I'm calm, I'm calm. You gotta really just take a minute and tell your body to relax. Rewiring your brain takes time. And your brain is up for it. And you can do it. Your brain, that saying, you can't teach old dogs new tricks, that's not true. Your brain is flexible. Neuroplasticity is what they call it. So you can reform it. You have control over that. So I'm curious, do you already use some of the methods that I described? Do you have some of your own? I'd love for you to put those in the comments. I really enjoy reading your comments. If you would, like and subscribe if you are so inclined. It really helps my channel. And I hope you got some value from this video that I kept trying to get around to and finally got done. Have courage and enjoy your adventures.